Hi guys, welcome back to part 6 of resource management, and this one is focusing on the guide for chapter 7 of Heroes and Villains campaign and chapter 8 of Nexus. Now, one of the recommendations I want to throw in here is something that I do recommend for all players is when you get to level 70, you get chapter 7 unlocked in the Heroes. Go in, beat that very first node, and then move on to Villains and Nexus and go back to Heroes sometime later. And the main reason why I say that is because it takes City Heroes and you don't get a lot of good options for City Heroes. Fortunately enough, the two characters that are behind the Heroes campaign currently are not high priority characters for you to get, which allows you to have the opportunity to skip Heroes 7, go to Villains, knock that out, get yourself Hela, get yourself Black Bolt, get yourself Enemy Mall, and then get yourself Phoenix, and you are off to the races and you can come back to Heroes later. And once again, you only have to beat that very first node and it can be by 1 star. So guys, if you're ready for it, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Before this video kicks off, if you are someone who would like to submit data for me to use in resource management to help new players, mid-game players get through this game and become end-game players, you guys can do so by joining my Discord. The link to that is in the description down below. And then all you have to do is go and find the section for submit data for resource management, find the category you want to submit for, and then post your screenshots of what you cleared it with, and make sure you also include a shot that gives total collection power, because that is the most important information I need to determine if something's efficient or not. In the event your data is one of the data that's being used as part of resource management, I'll make sure you get credit at the end of my future resource management videos for helping the community and helping me give the players more reliable information. Now back to your resource management video. Alright guys, quick recap of resource management, and I do apologize for anyone following this series from beginning to end. You're hearing the same stuff over and over again, but it is important for anyone who just happens to pick this video up. Resource management is my system how useful a character is on unlocking content and gaining sustainable resources. Resource management focuses on these game modes as ways of collecting resources efficiently, unlocks legendary, used for monthly events, best option for highest tier challenges, dark dimension efficient, useful in raids, especially that of U7, the number of campaigns they can be used in, and arena. And once again, resource management is not about free to play. Every character that is viable has a ranking in this system. It doesn't matter how you obtain them. So quickly guys, how my guide works, and if you want better details of this, go back and watch the very first part in guides. There'll be an eye in the corner of the screen to go back and check that video out. But basically guys, this is your team in Heroes to start the game. You know what? You get Deadpool in a login counter. You want to replace the character that is the father's back, which in this case would be Luke Cage at 77, giving your new team to look like this. Now, you unlock Human Torch and an orb. Obviously he's better than 4 of the 5, so you want to replace the worst one, which is Punisher, giving your new team looks like this. This is how my resource management system works, and this is what I highly recommend. The only case that I say may be better than following this is if you're someone who likes to build teams and wants synergy. Sometimes synergy teams work better than this method, but this method is pretty solid and it will get all the content done for you. So let's kick this off talking about Heroes campaign chapter 7 nodes 1 through 3. Even though I highly recommend that you just go in and beat the very first node however you need to, get that 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, and move on to Villains. I'm going to review Heroes all in order, but I highly recommend you don't tackle Heroes until much later, just because it starts out with City and there are better City characters to build. Because at this point you're going to be stuck with pretty much defenders, and I don't recommend building defenders. So here we go. The ranking for Heroes, Chapter 7, Nodes 1 through 3, Symbiote Spider-Man, by far the best character in any game mode. He's going to be ranked number 1. He's by far the best option of any character to build in the game in general. But moving on from there, Anti-Venom, currently not farmable, but sometime in the next 6 months he will be farmable. Followed by Ghost Rider, Squirrel Girl, and Miss Marvel, Miles Morales, She-Hulk. Yes, She-Hulk's actually up in the top 10 for this. I do find her useful, well, at least better than the defenders. Jessica Jones, Punisher, Spider-Man. If Spider-Man gets a team, he may move up on this list, but right now he's number 10. And I really do recommend, if you don't have access to me with Spider-Man or Anti-Venom, go Young Avengers with Ghost Rider. Whenever you get them unlocked, you can farm them and then tackle heroes. But that's probably what I remember. Or Young Avengers with She-Hulk. Something. Try to avoid as best you can from building defenders. Just try it, guys. Now, that could change in the future, but right now, that's my best recommendation. Moving on to the rest of them. Now, there's only 14 characters, so it ends with Night Nurse at number 14, and the silhouettes are just for future placements because I'm obviously going to use these slides again when I update this information. Moving on to Chapter 7, Nodes 4 through 6. These are global heroes only. Shuri takes the number 1 spot, followed by Falcon. Falcon, guys, is a character. Do not hesitate building Falcon. If you have no intentions of building power armor, don't hesitate on Falcon. I promise you, you will not regret it. Followed by Black Widow, Hawkeye, X-23, Captain America, Yo-Yo, Phoenix, once again an asterisk being paired with Beast, Agent Coulson. Now, if Heroes Chapter 7 did start out with the global characters first, then I would probably say go tackle it. But since it starts with cities, main reason why I say skip it, come back to it later, because there's going to be a lot of options you already have built up for these nodes. Following with the next 10, Quake, Colossus, once again, asterisk mark, only with Phoenix, Nick Fury, Negasonic, Deadpool, Iceman, Kitty Pryde, Black Panther, Hawk, and War Machine. I know I said this in every video so far, but Iceman and Kitty Pryde, I do have a feeling they're going to be highly valuable. That entire Astonishing X-Men team, and matter of fact, you could build up Beast even if you don't have Phoenix and pair them with those two. If you're in that scenario, it's probably going to be about 6 to 7 months before they're actually farmable in the game, but they're going to go to Orb so players can have the opportunity to unlock them early. And the rest of the characters with the global tag, starting with Cyclops down to the Shield minions. Once again, I'm pointing out here again, stature, this does not factor in Pimtech needed for Jubilee efficiency, so I do expect some Pimtech members to move up on the list. And then 36 through 43 is pretty much where it ends. I did put Psylocke for the X-Men at the bottom. Remember, you don't need to build more than 5 X-Men, and I know Psylocke is the one that pretty much gets the shaft on that team currently. And then moving on to the last 3 nodes of the Heroes campaign that require Cosmic Hero. All right, and this is gonna kick it off with Black Bolt. Now, if this is something you skip and come back to later, the possibility you will have Black Bolt for this campaign. If you, for some reason, want to tackle it early because you have to do things in order because OCD or whatever it is, or whatever reason you have, then yeah, you could come through and not have Black Bolt, and that's perfectly fine because the next one's up in the line is Thor, Crystal, Invisible Woman, another one that could be iffy. Star-Lord, again, another one that could be iffy. I don't recommend beelining for Star-Lord or Nick Fury or Magneto. To me, they're all legendaries that you can just skip and wait till you naturally get the characters to 5 stars through orbs or other processes. Mantis 6, Groot 7, Rocket 8, Drax 9, Karnak 10, followed by Sif, Heimdall, Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, The Thing. Once again, Fantastic Four, I said this in my last video, you do not really need to build Fantastic Four. They can be used in future content. They're not the top ones that I recommend, but they do have later viability, just throwing it out there. Invisible Woman, you probably someone you really want to highly consider building. 1, she's good for arena, especially in mid game, and 2, she will make some content easier for you in the future. Cable 16, Longshot, Shatterstar 17, 18, Captain Marvel 19, Doctor Strange 20. Yes, there's not a lot of characters with the cosmic trait because that's where it ends, 21 and 22. Moving on to the villains, Chapter 7, Nodes 1 through 3. This takes Sinister 6, AIM, and Hydra. Now I'm going to show you the list 1 through 10, but I'm going to have a note here for you guys. So here are the top 10. Science Supreme, Electro, Doc Ock, Baron Zemo, Rhino, Swarm, Mysterio, Shocker, Vulture, Green Goblin. Now, Sinister 6, you only need 5. You don't need any more than that. And I'm going to tell you right now, before ISO, the recommendation was either to do Hydra or AIM because both of them can clear the campaign at a lower collection power than what Sinister 6 can. And the main reason for that was that Sinister 6 had no sustain. You literally had to outmuscle the node to clear it, get 3 stars. Thanks to ISO 8, which at this point you guys should all be conquering and collecting tons of it, you can put level 3 healer on all 5 of the Sinister 6 members. I know it's not the most efficient way to put ISOs on the characters' recommendations, but for clearing content, trust me, clearing content, especially early game content, level 3 healer on all 5 of your characters is like a cheat code. Just calling you out right now, it's like a cheat code. You still need to have a decent amount of investment to make sure they don't get one-shotted, but I'm telling you right now, it is highly effective. Now, I haven't covered legendaries yet in this video series, and I will get to it eventually, but you're going to be told to build Sinister Six right out of the gate for your villains, campaign, and marching towards Shuri and Invisible Woman. To get sidetracked on AIM and Hydra that will not be used anywhere else, Baron Zemo and Science Supreme excluded from this conversation, is a waste of resources. Don't invest in an AIM team, don't invest in a Hydra team. You already are going to be investing in Sinister Six. Just put the healer ISO on them, level 3, and you should get through this with no problem and without having to over-invest in the characters. And you could substitute out Science Supreme or Baron Zemo for a Sinister Six member if you really want to, and it should give you a little bit more of an easier time. And I don't know when Electro is going to be farmable, but trust me, if you have access to Electro, she's the one Sinister Six member you want to build. That offense down start can make a world of difference. All right, moving on to the next 10. We have Graviton, Red Skull, AIM Security. Once again, guys, only 3 different teams, not a whole lot of variety. Researcher, Assaulter, all the Hydra minions, followed by Winter Soldier at the end, and a few more oddballs there, 21 through 24. Now moving on to Villains Chapter 7, Nodes 4 through 6. Villain Mystics. This one is what you want, guys. This is the unlock for Hela if you haven't already locked her through orbs. This breaks down this way. If you have them, Hela 1, Ebony Maw 2, Thanos 3, you should have Loki at this point because you should have already beaten the Mystics campaign if you built correctly. Mordo should be unlocked, Ronan should be unlocked, Juggernaut should be unlocked. And if you have Hela or Thanos, you can throw them on there. If you have Hela, it will make these 3 nodes a piece of cake. Missing Hela, it's a little bit more difficult, takes a little bit more investment, but with Hela, it's a cakewalk. And if you have to settle for some other characters, Nobu's 8, Assassin number 9, once again, resource matches based on efficiency. These guys get some efficiency score because they can unlock Phoenix. So you would have to invest enough to make sure they don't go down so you can 3-star those nodes. But at the same time, you want to make sure you don't over invest these characters. Because remember, when you get the legendaries, you don't have to 3-star the darn thing. You just have to beat it. There's no penalty for characters going down when it comes to unlocking legendaries. Yondu's 10, and then your last 15. I did throw in Doom here. He's the end game content. You're not going to have him unlocked, as he's pretty much the goal right now of the game. And then some silhouettes for future placement. Let's move on. Villains, Chapter 7, Nodes 7 through 9, and basically use your best. I'm not giving recommendations here, guys. You guys can go back to my villains guide if you need it, but ultimately you should already have a powerful enough villain characters to clear these last 3 nodes from what you build up to clear just the last 6 nodes here in Chapter 7 of the villains. So let's move on to the Nexus campaign. Now, nodes 1 through 3 is a free-for-all. Use your best. You should have no problem. So let's move on to nodes 4 through 6. You need Kree, Guardians, or Asgardians for this point. Now, you should have your Asgardians unlocked at this point. If not, you should be pretty darn close. So this is your best recommendation. Hela 1, Minerva 2, Thor, Loki, Heimdall, Star-Lord, Sif, Ronan, Groot, Rocket. Minerva can be a plug and play. If you don't have the full Asgardian team, Hela can be a plug and play. Heck, you could throw out Heimdall or Sif and put in Minerva if you really want. You should be able to blow through this at that point. If for some reason you don't, Star-Lord, Ronan, and everyone below that into the Guardians, or alternative options, as here is everyone else. Captain Marvel's 1, guys. She is a very powerful character, especially at the start of the game, but she doesn't have a lot of use the later you get into the game other than being a war juggernaut if you can get 6 or 7 red on her. But outside that, she's going to continue to get power crept in this game. There's no signs of her getting a rework or an actual team. Well, she does work with Kree, but an actual team that makes her even better. So if you're a new player, I would highly consider holding off on Captain Marvel to hit the end game and see if you actually get 6 or 7 red on her. And then we end this with Kree minions with an extra character there at the end. Alright, let's move on to our last 3 nodes, nodes 7 through 9, the Nexus Chapter 8 campaign. You can use S.H.I.E.L.D., X-Men, or Brotherhood in this one, and no surprise, we're going to kick this off with Phoenix. If at this point you have Phoenix unlocked, you're going to make sure you want to have a Beast with her. In case you guys don't know, if Phoenix goes down to her Dark Phoenix, Beast's passive allows you to still 3-star even though she turned to Dark Phoenix. Without Beast, that mechanic does not work. In the event you don't have Phoenix, your best options are Black Widow, Captain America, Hawkeye. Like I said, those 3 guys, they're going to keep popping up. They are great characters to invest in. If you're watching this before you even reach the Nexus, you just started the game, I'm telling you, you can't go wrong investing in those 3 characters. Nick Fury's next. Once again, not someone I recommend you beeline for, so possibly don't have him. Next up, Yo-Yo, premium or exclusive character. Could be tough for some of you to get. X-23, number 8, Magneto, number 9, Colossus, number 10. Once again, asterisk beside Colossus, don't really build him up or bring him if you don't have Phoenix. Cyclops, number 11, 12, Agent Coulson, 13, Quake, 14, Mystique, 15 and 16, Iceman and Kitty Pryde. God, I can't wait till they're actually here. By the time you guys are seeing this, it's a possibility that Kitty Pryde or Iceman or both of them might be here by then. I don't know. I record these so far I record these in advance for a lot of reasons. Anyways, Blob, 17, 18 Toad, 19 Juggernaut, and 20 Pyro, leaving the remaining characters as this: Storm, Wolverine, Psylocke, the Shield minions, and Sabretooth at the end. And yes, guys, that wraps up to all the character recommendations in the efficiency order if you want to be efficient with your resources. And if you guys enjoyed this one, give me a thumbs up. If you're new here and haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. And if you do not want to miss the next one in resource management, which will cover all of Doom War, yeah, that's a lot of slides, don't forget that notification bell. And with all that said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye. And yes, I'm wearing my hat backwards. I'm doing some bulk recording today and want to see the difference between my hat being forward and backwards to see if it comes across better on camera. So guys, if you're ready for it,